So for the next part, which I'm going to call the pre-chorus, it's going to be the first 16 bars of the main drop. I'm just going to create some more space here and insert 16 bars right in here. Okay, so we have our space here. So I'm just going to copy the kick drum and paste it all the way across. And then I'm going to grab these drums and do the same thing with them. And also the singular lead and the other one, we'll just grab those and paste them in. Okay, so now we have those sections. We need to fill out our bass, so I'm just going to go to our bass here and grab all of our bass sections. First 8 bars here, paste it in. So let's have a listen to that. Okay, so let's see if we can record our chords here. And we're basically just going to follow the chords in the song. So we're going to do an F minor, an A flat, and a C minor. Great, so aside from my obvious mistake in the last chord, that sounded reasonably good. So I'm just going to go in here and fix this chord here first. Just pull this down to here. And then I'm going to press Control A to select all of these. I'm going to quantize them and have a listen to that. Okay, a couple didn't quantize properly here, so I'm just going to manually do these two. Probably because I was on 16ths, and that's fine. Let's just make sure everything else looks good here. Okay, just going to check our... Yeah, I think I'm just going to increase the velocities on some of these. So let's just go in here. I don't want them to be all the same velocity, just as long as they're within a close range. Okay, now that I've adjusted the velocities, let's have a listen. Okay, I'd like to shorten these chords a little bit, so let's just go to the start of that section, and I'll just select these ones and just going to pull them in a little bit. Yeah, maybe just to here. Yeah, just so they're all kind of the same length. These ones a bit shorter. I don't mind if some of the tails go over slightly. That's fine. Okay, let's have a listen to that now. Okay, that particular sound has a long decay, so it's sustaining for quite a long time afterwards. So we may adjust that later on, but for now, this is great. Just going to save our work here. And I'll probably repeat that section. Let's just repeat it one more time here. So we'll have it like that. Okay, so now I want to, I think I'm going to add in the last part of this drop here, but only with the piano, I think. So I'm going to just move my markers and give myself about 8 bars. Yeah, let's just do 8 bars. And yeah, so let's go find our piano part here, which is this track here and the last 8 bars of it. Okay, so let's just grab these here. I'm going to copy them, place them over here, get some drums in there. I'm going to drop the lead lines here because we don't need them in there. Just going to have that piano and the drums for now. Okay, so let's grab the bass for that part. So these ones here. Throw them in. Okay, let's have a listen to that. Cool. Just going to take the loop off and see how it transitions. Okay, so I think here I'm just going to keep the piano out. So I'm just going to mute this piano for now. Yeah, so I'm going to leave this pad synth in here. Let's have a listen. Okay, and I'm going to take out the lead parts here. Let's just mute them for now. Okay, I'm just going to bring those up in the mix here, and the piano as well. Actually, I had dropped everything from before, so let's just kind of rebalance everything from the loudest part. So let's go from here. Loop is off. I'm just going to rebalance my levels. So you'll notice on these channels that we have a width and a pan control here. Since this bass was done using a stereo synth, we have it in stereo on a stereo track. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull the width down to make this bass a little more mono. And I may do that with some of the other tracks, like the kick here. Just pull that down so the width is gone. I would likely do it with these drums as well, but because they're multiple drums, I'll just leave them. I may just pull this down about halfway. So we have a little bit of width on these drums. So let's have a listen to that. So I think at the end of that section, I'd like to bring the piano back in over that. So just this last part here, the last 8 bars. So let's just unmute these ones here. Yeah, so this bass here, I had pulled it to mono, but it had a stereo part to it, which was missing. So I've kind of dialed in a little bit of pan or width on this. So if you have a listen now, I'll just vary the width and you'll hear the difference. So I'm going to leave it around about here because I don't want it in the full stereo panned hard left and right as well. So this will work perfectly. So now that we've got to this section here, I'd like to kind of pull everything down before we come in with our final drop in this song here. So in order to do that, I'm just going to grab the bass here, and actually I'm going to grab this kick drum here and just run it for a few more bars, maybe 4 bars, something like that. Something like that. And okay, so I think in this middle section, I'm going to double this up a little bit. Instead of going into the piano here, I'm going to just take this whole section here and copy it, and then I'm going to add some bars right here. Just insert, and then I'm going to paste that in there, so we should have double that. Okay, let's just check it out from here. Perfect. Okay, so that has been extended. So now we are starting our quiet section at bar 81. So I am going to pull in our lead again, our singular lead here. And I'll just grab these ones. And they are going to go in right away as soon as this thing pulls out of the piano. And I'm just going to do it twice here, so that will sound like this. Okay, and then we have our kick in there for a couple. And then I want our other lead here, just this part of it. Let's just copy these. Bring that in on the second half of this. So there. Okay, so that's the beginning of it. I do want some other drums in there. I also want the rolling bass to do a couple of rounds in there. So let's just grab the F on the bass, this one here. I'll just paste that in a couple times. Let's go to here. Okay, I'm just going to add the bass in a couple more times here. I think I'll keep the kick going a bit longer as well. Okay, so that is going to be our kind of breakdown. We'll still have to add something to that. And then we're going to come back in with our final drop, which will basically be this section here with a couple of additions. So I'm just going to go copy and paste that in, and then we can move on to adding some more percussion and drum sections. Hey, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more content like this.